Hey everybody, Chris Hyde here with the B3 Project. Uh, Topic today is identity. Like, what gives you your identity? What's your self-worth locked up in, wrapped up in? I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and a lot of things that are talked about, it's always referencing the past. What I did then, what happened then, the wins I had then, and really like the best times have passed. The old commercial, it doesn't get any better than this. I'm a fan of stand-up comedy, and routine I really like is comes from Dennis Miller and his album, the Off-White album. It's done in the 80s. And he references a Bud Light commercial where two guys are out in the swamp and they're sitting on the front porch of this cabin and, got their shotguns and their beers and just sitting there, and one turns to the other and says, "Man, it doesn't get any better than this." And Dennis's response was, "Really, Captain Positive? Then why don't you put that barrel in my mouth and pull the trigger? Because this isn't it, And I kind of feel like that sometimes. Like, well, dude, let's keep building on things. Your life didn't stop when that ended. This certain thing you're talking about. So, to me, I kind of think when people do that, it's a result of their getting their priorities out of order. That conversation made me think, okay, where does my identity lie? Where am I putting that? Is it in the wrong things, or is it where it should be? Am I on the path to getting it where it should be? And ideally for me as a Christian and a husband and father, that is the order that should be in. My relationship with Christ and my faith should be number one, as it influences everything else below it. And then as a husband is my next highest calling, and then as a father is my next highest calling. So no matter what else happened, for those of you who follow me, I'm a full-time musician. I played guitar for 30 years. I sing. If something happened where I couldn't play guitar anymore, would that be rough? Would that be a huge setback or disappointment? Sure. Would I lament certain things for a time? 100%. But if my identity is not in that, I don't look at that as who I am, wrapped up in that skill, that ability, I'm not being stopped. I'm moving forward. I was reminded today, I was having a conversation with my brother about this topic, and he reminded me of a conversation that was had with would have been my great-grandmother, who my daughter is named after, and she outlived a few of her sons. Two died tragically, and I believe it was my mother who had asked her, I forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, any family members watching, but she was asked, how did you get through that? The loss of a child, 3 in her lifetime, I believe. And she said 100% it was her faith in God, because she looked to God and had that relationship. She was able to get through that. She said not having that, she would never have survived it. And so I wanted to ask you the question, where is your identity lie? Where do you get your identity from? What are you leaning into that way? You're like, well, I am this, or people view me as this. And when you really think about it and ask yourself that question, now ask yourself, is that where it should be? How do I want people to view me? Where should that identity be? And am I on the path to get it there? As Christians, we strive to be Christ-like. Do we hit the mark? No, we don't. I forget who I heard say this, but they said there was only one perfect man on this planet, and I'm not him. I ever walked the planet. So anyway, just want to encourage you today to evaluate, where's your identity? Where do you get that from? And is that put it in the right place? Just was a question that came up today, and it was very poignant for me. So I hope you get something out of that as well. If nothing else, just some self-reflection. So anyway, appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, with B3, we strive to be intentional, be capable, and be undeniable. Talk to you tomorrow.